That's about it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
If anything describes what we're doing, I mean that works. So I guess first of all, what's up, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Busy. Just finished my my evening writing session, so I am kicking back, relaxing.
Fair enough. Cheers. Right there with you. Aaron, how you doing, bro?
Well, all I can think of is the old Bill Cosby himself when he described the conniption, where the skin split at the scalp, and you
Yep.
got fire in the eyes, it's been that kind of week.
Yeah.
And today I'm at that point where I just like like the old saying goes, I wish somebody would look at me sideways.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So, for those of you wondering, this is the missing 10 millimeter. Don't ask where it came from or why or reason. There is none. It's just something relatable, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just something random, which is what this show is. We always talk about what happens behind stage and before shows, and all three of us, we've all had those types of experiences where we just had some fun, just relaxing, chilling. Well, this is what you're getting. You're getting no agenda, no topics, no nothing. Just sit, chill, bullshit, hang out, and have fun. And as the bottom does say, viewer discretion is not just advised; it's recommended. Just because who knows where this is going to go. Renee says you shared out. Thank you, Renee. And if you guys want to talk about anything, jump in the conversation. This is literally just a hangout.
I will say this: for if for any reason this gets taken off of Facebook or YouTube, let me know and I will upload it to my Rumble channel and share it out of my X, so that way
Fair
it's
enough.
still up.
Fair enough. I'm doing the same thing. I don't know, Tanner. Have you gotten into Rumble at all? Or
No, not my cup of tea.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know he's got one. I've got one. I don't even know why I'm not even on it. But no, this is just a bullshit session. Just a hangout. But um, you know, Aaron, you were saying the same thing. Like it's been a week,
Yeah.
so like I was kind of telling to fill you in, Tanner, before you came up. Um, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be, let's just say, changing some things in my life. I was basically just told to, and I don't want to publicly say it because it's not happening just yet, but I'm going to be changing some things come Saturday because I was basically told to choose something over my daughter. That is definitely something that shouldn't be chosen about.
Right.
I think that's, I mean, I had freaking court this week and it was just, I got bitched at. No lie. I got bitched at because I work too much and I don't spend time with my daughter. I'm like, gotta work. Gotta do something. Like, I was called a piece of shit dad, basically, by even the judge, too. Like, it's just been just negative bullshit all week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we said, like we were talking about this earlier, about how our parents try to compare themselves, try to compare us to them,
Yeah.
how things are. And one thing I keep going back to is, I know our parents, struggled to, provide for us.
Yeah.
But, the gap between the cost of living and minimum wage was nowhere near what it is today. Like, back then it wasn't quite as wide.
Yeah.
And, opportunities were starting to emerge, but it's difficult when you have those kind of differences between generations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we said, 40,000 a year. Like, that was the goal growing up. I don't know what your parents told you guys, but my parents always drilled in my head 40,000 a year, 40,000 a year. That was the target. If you had 40,000 a year, you had a house, you had a car, you had everything, and you were set. You were living good. I
Right.
mean, hell, $48,000 a year now, you're like, Aaron said earlier, you're just not even making it.
Yeah, entry level to get into a house. Now, so I was doing real estate for a while. I still consult and do some stuff on the side with it. But to get into a house, you're looking at in a modest home, 75K.
Yeah.
If you want to be comfortable, you're looking at 95K, and to have a full family home, you need a household income of about 120 to be comfortable.
Yeah, and that's per area too. Like that depends. Smack it. I'm not even drunk, and I'm smacking.
That was a national average, and that's actually the numbers here for Chattanooga.
Yeah, like here in PA, like my parents' house when they first bought it, it was like 135, and that was early 90s, if not 90.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's close to 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, here in Minnesota, it's gotten a little higher than that. It's gotten to the point where, I have some family and friends that say, hey, we want to come move up to Minnesota. And my reaction is, no, you don't. No, not unless you got a nice bank. Because,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. The people here outside of Minneapolis, the people in Minnesota are generally, nice and helpful. But, yeah, that whole thing with the cost of living is just, it's ridiculous. And Minnesota is now one of the more expensive states in the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
What freaking gets me going is like, and don't mean talk politics because it's not just that, but it relates. It's you guys are on TikTok too. You're on social media. Hearing these freaking representatives and Congress people saying, "Oh well, 725 is good as a federal minimum wage." It's like, excuse me, 725 is livable. Why don't you try it?
Yeah.
I've said this before. If you switch roles, if you give these Congress people that type of wage to live, and per hour, I'm not talking salaried, I'm talking per hour. Watch how quickly shit changes.
Oh yeah.
They get what, easy 6 figures for a couple hours worth of work, and it's not even really work. It's just standing around arguing and bitching. Fuck, I'll do that.
Well, okay. I remember when they first started pushing the whole $15 an hour, like 5-6 years ago, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's just going to make everything better." But what people don't understand is that it doesn't. It's not what people make that's the problem. It's what it costs to survive that's the problem.
Yep.
And the cost of living, as long as it is out of control, it doesn't matter how much you make. My wife she makes like $25-$26 an hour. And with all of that, we're still, when you look at the numbers, we're still below the poverty line.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're okay. We've got some, people that help us and stuff, but man, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's like what costs, where the expense and stuff is. So, like friends of mine outside of the country, Canada, the UK, housing necessities are affordable and luxuries are expensive. So they're going to pay
Right.
more of their yearly income is gonna be taken up by buying electronics and TVs
Yeah.
than a house or something. So here, though, houses, food, gas, necessities, those things are super, super expensive, but you can go out and get a 40-inch flat screen for
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they put out those checks at the very beginning of COVID?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I could not believe what I was seeing, because when I got my check, my wife and I, we went and bought food. We paid off some debt that, some bills that we were behind on. We took care of everything so that the rest of the pandemic, we were okay. But when we got to Walmart, people were going after the big TVs that were just a few dollars short of what the total check was,
Yep.
like it was Black Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I see it all the time in like Walmarts and stuff like that. I'll be in line, and the odd time I don't do the self checkout, but I see these families with like lobster, steak, like all this really high end food. I'm like, man, they must make good money. And I
Yeah.
see them pull out an EBD card. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're using food stamps for that. Are you serious? And then it's
Yeah.
like we were saying, a little bit earlier, these people are popping out kids and they're seeing dollar signs. They're not seeing a life. They're seeing a dollar sign.
Yeah.
It's like, that's disgusting. Like, there's no reason why somebody who's unemployed living off the government should be eating better than me. Like, that is just pisses me off.
I knew a girl that worked with the carnival that I traveled with for a long time, just a couple years ago, and she was getting $1,500 a month driving a Mitsubishi 3000, which at the time was like the car to have,
Mm-hmm.
getting tattoos for a child that she didn't even have custody of.
That's bullshit.
And here I am, disabled. I can't even drive anymore. My right eye is so bad that, I mean, I might as well just gouge that sucker out.
Yeah.
And, my knee is just about shot, and I've got problems with my shoulders. I've got all kinds of stuff where I am no longer employable. I am what some refer to as an insurance risk because of my disabilities. And I get it. Businesses have to watch out for themselves. I totally get that. But I am clawing for help. I'm just literally doing whatever I can, and I'm just getting chump change.
Well, I said to the Wicked Queen, and I think we've all talked about this too. I think they need to have a lot more stricter rules and regulations on a lot of these government funded or programs, like drug testing. Number one, like to even
Well,
qualify, you need to have like some kind of monthly drug testing. They need to actually show that they're like for unemployment. You have to show that you're actually trying to get employed. Unemployment shouldn't be a paycheck.
yeah,
And as far as food stamps is concerned, there should be. I mean, to me, they should be stricter on that. Like, there's no way filet mignon should be food stamped approved. Like,
Well,
screw you.
like with that, like that's healthy lean meat, healthy lean protein, good vegetables. That's the stuff that should be on. Like
yeah,
like frozen pizzas, candy, sodas,
right,
box stuff. That's the stuff. And we're looking here in Tennessee to have some of that stuff taken off. That as a trainer, I totally support that. Make people healthy if they're on EPT.
right,
Get
right.
people, get normal people, not normal people. I'm sorry, but get people who are buying that stuff with their own cash to stop buying it. I'm all for whatever helps people get healthy, strong, and back up on their feet.
Oh yeah, I'm all
But
for
yeah,
that too. It's just, to me, they shouldn't live better than me. You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't be catered to, is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these people know how to manipulate the system. Like, there
Mhm.
are some that actually do need it, which I'm cool with. I'm 100% supportive. I think they're great programs. But there are so many people that manipulate and abuse the system, and there's no checks and balances with it. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, for example, my one ex, right? She gets food
One
stamps.
act.
Mm, that's a whole nother show. But no, my one ex, like, she gets SSI, she gets disability, she gets all this stuff, food stamps included. She says she has a seizure disorder. I've never seen her have one. In the almost 15 years I've known her, never had one. Never
Right.
actually had any type of seizure. Doesn't even take medication for it anymore. She just stopped it because she didn't want to take it. She said she can't work a job because all that stress sends her into a seizure. Then all of a sudden, she meets her new boyfriend or whatever the hell he is. She's working again, just fine, doing just fine,
Yeah.
and that's how that family lives. Like, obviously, somebody in that family does need it. Yes, I will admit that, but that's the way that she was brought up, is how to manipulate and how to use the system.
Right. I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, if you don't have doctor's authorization or confirmation that you are disabled,
Mm-hmm.
and that it is verifiable through whatever medical test that they can throw at you. If it can't be confirmed, you shouldn't get it.
Yeah,
Now, I do know that there are some cases where exceptions should be made because there are some conditions that can't just be, proven
of
with
course,
the test that we have.
of course.
But, when I see somebody that's like 23 years old, nothing wrong with them, drinking a Starbucks latte on an iPhone, complaining about how they're living so poor. Bro, how about you take some of those Birkenstocks and sell them?
Yeah, seen that. Oh, I've had people come into work, and you see some of these kids are like so snotty. It's just, I just can't stand. Like, this one kid threw a temper tantrum because his mom wouldn't buy him forget what it was. It was something completely stupid. It was like $300-400, and she wouldn't buy it for him. I think it was like a fishing rod or something like that. And he threw a temper tantrum through the entire store, screaming and hollering and cussing at her. It's like,
if I'd tried that, my mom would have laid me out right there in public.
mm.
And actually, I did try something like that one time when I was a kid with my mom, and she pulled me in real close, and she looked at me dead in the eye and said, "Don't make me take you in the back because there's no witnesses back there." I never messed up in a store again after that.
No, did I ever tell you too about what my dad told me when I was younger? About Sears? Did I tell either of you?
I don't think so.
So, for those who don't know, I'm actually adopted. And my dad, for the longest time, had a receipt printed out from Sears with a 30-year warranty for me. And he said if I didn't listen, he would return me to Sears. That's for the longest time, like until I was like 10 or 11. I thought that's where kids came from, was Sears. So the one time we were at Sears, I went right up to an employee and I said, "Hi, where's your brother section? I want a brother." And my mom heard this and she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, that's what." Yeah, it was a whole ordeal. But yeah, that threat lasted for a while. He even showed me the fucking thing too. He's
I guess you can find baby 2 aisles over from the Craftsman tool section. Maybe maybe that's where all the 10 millimeters are going.
They were right next to the jeans, but across from the refrigerators. I miss Sears. Hey, Nikki. Oh, man.
So were you a saint there as a child, Tanner?
Oh no, I was in trouble constantly.
Pleading the fifth. As long as you don't speak it, there's no evidence.
There's still documentation, still interviews that need to be done. No, I'll tell you what though, I was a little bastard. Especially my teens, like my teenagers, I was a little bastard. I knew which line to push and how far I could push it before they actually got upset. And I would just teeter between that line just constantly. And now my daughter's doing it.
Yeah, well, it's that curse that every parent puts on their kid. I hope when you're old enough to have kids, they do to you what you did to me so you know what I had to put up with. This is why I don't have kids. Because I remember what I did to my mother.
Oh, well, Mackenzie flat out said today, she goes, "You do know your daughter's turning into you, right?" And I went, "Uh-oh." I was like, shit. She's like, "She's half you, half her mom." And I went, "Oh, that means she's batshit crazy and has a real bad attitude. Oh, this is great." I was like, "Well, at least the parent-teacher conferences will be fun."
Yeah, see, that's one thing I do appreciate about the junior high and high school, that there really weren't parent-teacher conferences unless it was in private in the offices. Usually after you screw up really good. And yeah, I've been kicked out of state academies for the stunts I pulled.
Ooh. I'm actually surprised I'm not dead with half the shit I pulled. Oh, my boy Malachi, he says, "Pray for him. He's stuck at Dunham's." Haha. Better you than me. Sorry, I'm traveling to just outside of Pittsburgh tomorrow. Me and Felicia, the Paraprincess, we're heading to a place called Gibsonia. It's just outside of the Pittsburgh area.
Pretzel.
Yeah, we're gonna be there until Saturday. They've got like this big tent sale, which if it's anything like the last one I did, I'm gonna love it. You can wear shorts, hats, just chill, hang out.
Are you saying it's like a flea market?
In it, kind of. So at Dunham's they have these tent sales, and basically it's like all this overstock, and they do like a big yard sale basically at all these clearance prices, and well, you can get a lot of stuff like extremely cheap, like 80% off and stuff like that. And typically they ask for help from other stores. And the last time I went, we did one. It was in Butler, PA, which is just north of Pittsburgh. This one I'm going southeast.
Wait, Butler, isn't that the place where Trump was shot at?
Yeah. We went just after that too. I said, if you hear some weird sounding bees, duck.
Yeah.
The stingers hurt on those. But I forgot where I was fucking going with that. But anyway, they put us up in like this hotel, which oddly enough, now it was a 45-minute drive north from where we were staying at. And shut up, Malachi. I'll get to that in a second, fucker. And now we're staying at the same place, but it's the opposite direction, half hour. I'm like, you guys, there's like 7 or 8 hotels nearby, and you guys can't put us anywhere closer. But they pay for mileage, but they pay for everything. They reimburse you for mileage, time, food. It's like 20, I think $25 a day for food, which I only eat really once a day, so it's not that big a deal. But it's nice little vacation. But no, Malachi said, "Why do I have trash on my head?" The jealousy sucks for people. I hate it in sports when people are so jealous of stuff that actually is good.
Mm-hmm.
My only response to that, Malachi, is, "I'm sorry, where are you guys ranked?" Thank you. Tanner, I had never really asked this. What do you have a sports team, Tanner?
I don't.
Oh, you're no fun. Okay, guys, we're gonna start something. If everybody can find Tanner a sports team, so we can make fun of him.
Manchester United.
There you go. Oof. I don't
Wait. This is how they flip people off in the UK.
even.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, he's right, though. If you want to, my advice, if you're going to go to a pub in the UK and start some trouble, make sure you stand by the door. Because the moment you say the team that they don't like, you're going to want to run. Because that whole bar.
What was it? Was it Shaun of the Dead that had that? Or there was some movie with that guy in it that they had gotten into a huge bar fight over a team.
Oh, I think that was the one like Save the World or Save the Universe or something where he had the
God powers or whatever.
Yeah.
No,
aliens.
You're talking about World End.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and this is where
that one. But I was also thinking of Euro Trip. I just thought of it. Euro Trip when they were talking about that when the football fans were. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Soccer fans, fuck off. Red, white, and blue. But they were fighting over different teams and stuff like that. That was one I was thinking of. They had like a huge brawl right in the middle of the street and chasing people down.
Well, do you remember the movie Formula 51 with Samuel L. Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
The scene where the guy that was supposed to be carrying him around the UK, he went into the bar and started screaming something about Manchester, and you see him all running after him. And he just, I love that scene, and he's actually a really good actor. I've seen him in quite a few films and TV shows. But yeah, but here in the U.S., I kind of agree with Tanner. I just don't really get into football or baseball. Cage fighting, bare knuckle fighting. I'll talk about that all night.
Unless I'm involved, I don't care.
Or what?
Unless I'm involved in cage fighting or bare knuckle fighting, I couldn't care less.
Oh, I will say this. If you guys get the chance, on YouTube, look up Rough and Rowdy by Barstool, owned by Dave Portnoy, and Redneck Brawl. You want to talk about finding the most trailer park guys off the street and just slugging it out. These two are the best. I love them both. I mean, there's been times where, and the Ring Girls look like women that were rejected from the local strip club. I mean, they got some really good looking ones, but yeah, most of them are just like, they had no chance of being a stripper. So they try to do it at these boxing matches at Ring Girls.
That almost sounds like a town that's near where I'm at. It's called Berwick. It's like Jerry Springer Reject Central.
Yeah.
That sounds like that would be like filmed right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Only this is like literally sanctioned boxing.
Oh, speaking of fighting and stuff like that, you two would appreciate this. So the Wicked Queen and I were coming back, I think from Walmart or somewhere last night, and we passed by one of our 7-Elevens that is just like up the road here. And as soon as we get close to it, I just see the red and blues. And it
Oh yeah,
wasn't just one, it was 2 units of just red and blues just going. They had this green van, like a 15-pack van, pulled over, and as soon as we get close to it, this old woman, like in her 70s or whatever, comes out, and she had the straightest back and just arms out on her side ready to brawl. And I'm like, oh, can we turn around, please? I want to see this. And she goes, no. I was like, please, come on, just turn around. I want to see an old woman get tased. I was like, fuck, I'll do it. I was like, there's a taser in here somewhere. Let me do it.
yeah. They just went from "Mama said knock you out" to "Mima gonna knock you out."
Oh, Mima was pissed.
But we've had something like that happen down in Dallas. Because my wife and I, we were working the Texas State Fair, and across the street was a Jack in the Box.
Oh, I love Jack in the Box.
Oh yeah, we ate there all the time. Now this one day, we went in there, and there were 2 individuals there. There were the homeless African American,
Mm.
and then there's the short homosexual Mexican. Both of them were customers, and they started arguing. And the homeless guy go, "Boy, I'll whoop yo," and the Mexican is like, you just need to like totally leave because can you not see I have a headache? I have this patch on my forehead because I have it. They just went back and forth at this for like 45 minutes, and finally, the Mexican with the genius says, "All right, you know what? Let's just take this outside." So the homeless guy walks out the door. The Mexican walked up, locked that door, and calls the cop. Now, here's the thing: there was like 7 squad cars that show up. Now, this whole time, my wife and I were sitting there eating our Jack burgers and drinking, and this is a dinner and a show for us.
Yeah, 100%.
And when they finally got everything settled down, my wife yelled out to one of the cops, "Guys, you must be really bored. I mean, we get a murder in Minneapolis. It's an hour before one cop shows up."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were there like in less than 2 minutes.
Well, hell, when we were in New Orleans, we were just getting done with Voodoo Authentica, and we were just about ready to leave. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and we have all the equipment packed. We were there with Howard and Jackie and them, and we just hear pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, "Ooh, I know what that was." And I look over at Howard, thinking he like some sort of reaction. No, he's just doing his thing. I'm like,
Yep.
He goes, someone just got shot probably. And sure enough, there was a bunch of cops coming down the road, and they said, "You need to stay right where you're at. Someone just got shot," or blah blah blah. Something. There's an incident going on. Blah blah blah. My wife's freaking out. I'm going, I want to see. I want to see what's going on. And everyone was just like acting normally. Just who cares? It happens. But what about Tanner? Are you seeing anything like that, Tanner? I know you've had some law enforcement.
I was a PI.
I said ish.
Yeah. I mean, I had a case one time. I was on surveillance. It was just supposed to be this. What was it? It was a workers' comp claim.
Mm.
Was it a workers' comp? Yeah, this one was workers' comp. So I'm out. It's for a municipality. They hired me in directly to follow this guy because they found out through a fraud hotline that he was what was he doing? He was working another job when he was supposed to be out on leave and unable to get out of bed. He was supposed to be a paraplegic, and he was not. So I followed him for a little while, and we went into this one area, and it was a trailer park. And I had this beautiful shot of him. I was like, "This is great. There's no way he can see me." And I made this really rookie mistake of not checking to make sure that nobody else could see me that would have something, going on in a trailer
Right.
park. If you would like to guess what that was.
Yeah.
So this 300-pound like dude runs out in his like stained, soiled, tidy whities with a garden hose over his head. And so this like half naked. No, he didn't have tidy whities. This guy was fully naked. This was naked dude, fat dude with a garden hoe. coming after me.
Oh, I thought you said a
And
garden hose, and I'm just having this weird
no, it was
mental
a hoe.
picture.
Yeah,
But he
I
had
didn't hear. I thought you said hose, and I'm like,
no.
I'm just picturing this big fat ass guy with a green garden hose dangling over the front of it, just running.
That would have been awesome. No, so he came after me, and where I was, like, I just hit record on my camera so that it could keep recording the guy through the shot that I had,
Mhm.
and then I went and grease wrestled this dude, and he had a full on meth lab, and it was in a garage. It was like a lean to that he pulled his car under next to his beat up old trailer,
Mm.
yeah.
and he had rigged up this garage door, and when it came open, he had a full on lab in there cooking. So I didn't get burned. That neighborhood lit up,
Oh.
with cops, and I had to shoot out of there because the police department couldn't know I was doing anything. That was part of the thing. The municipality was like, "We do not want the department to know you're in town doing this. They will get pissed that we brought in outside help." So I'm like, "Cool,
Yeah.
alright." So people call in a
Fair enough.
fight, I roll out. I'm like, "We'll leave the camera there. They probably won't find it." And, like, I just kinda rolled out of the area and came back later and got the camera.
Oh man, I see. I thought when you said you made a rookie mistake, I don't know about you, Aaron, but I thought he was going to say he left the flash on.
No, I've never done that. I know guys that did. It was way when I started back when it was film. We didn't have digital cameras. It was all like 8mm film,
Yep.
and then you were also taking your still shots because you
Yeah.
couldn't easily take them off of the film back then. You had to have this like long lens SLR camera to take photos and stuff. And this
Yeah.
one dude left his flash on. It's dead at night. Following this person for weeks. Had one shot at this. Flash goes off.
Man.
Did he at least get the shot though, or do you
I
know?
don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, that's just.
I don't think I would remember it if he got it, because I don't think we would have given him that much crap if he would have got it.
Those old cameras, man. Those flashes, they were bright and they were hot. I remember. I don't know about you guys, but I can distinctly remember the sound of them charging up and then going off. It's just it's a unique sound. That whirling pitch, just oof. Like you know some shit's gonna happen.
When I was at the State Academy for the Deaf, we had this one kid who was taking photography, and he was doing shot for the yearbook. Now, this kid is also like one of those kids that just knows how to take anything and turn it into a potential implement of that would borderline the legal line of being classified as a lethal weapon.
No.
Well, he took his flash, and he had one of those old block flashes that you had to screw on to the top of the camera because it was so heavy.
Yep.
And he figured out how to turn that thing into a stun gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yep.
Yeah, he zapped one kid on the leg who fell asleep on the bus. That kid never slept again.
You could do them with disposables too. We used to throw them at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some bitch charged up. It was basically a taser at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those. And you know, it's funny. Like, I distinctly remember. If you guys remember too, the video cameras, the old VHS video cameras, freaking like mini bazookas. Carrying that around, like I have a whole new respect for my dad on vacation, because I remember him walking around like Disney, the beach, stuff like that, carrying this damn thing.
Well, they had those huge block batteries that was attached to the back, and you had to have like 2 or 3 in a bag that was slung over your shoulder with everything else on top of the camera on your shoulder. Yeah.
The belts, the battery belts back then.
Oh my god!
My mentor, he was a PI like from the 50s on, so he was there for the transition from just film cameras into those heavier video cameras, and he was one of the first guys to start doing video for surveillance. And so we had one of those old ones in the office. Now I was high 8mm when I started, so it was like the handy cams they were clunky, but they weren't huge.
Yeah.
But
little
I saw that.
VHS, yeah.
But I used to have this really nice office when I left there, started my own business. I had cameras that went all the way through like the 1920s going up into video. And I just had this like row of cameras that I collected. I recently just got rid of all of them, but oh my God, that one is huge with the big battery pack belts. And he would talk about like, I had to sneak around with this thing. I was like, how the hell did you sneak around?
I was just gonna ask, how inconspicuous do you have to be? Like, I mean, Would you put press, like get a press badge and just walk around like that? I mean, that's
You
the only
could
thing that's the
back
only thing I could
then.
think of.
Can't get away with that today, but you could back then.
Oh yeah.
But like, I saw a Rockford Files episode where he had one
Oh,
of those cameras and he was in like this
the
tall
James
grass
Garner.
laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that show. Love that actor.
I love the car.
You ain't lying. But no, you talk about like old equipment and stuff. I saw a TikTok last week or a week before. It doesn't matter. Have you ever seen these TikToks where these parents or grandparents try to show these kids older technology and see if they know how to use it? I'm sorry, but rotary phones are my absolute fucking favorite. I love them. This one kid, grandma had it. I mean, it was hanging up too. It was one of the old school ones that hung up on the side of the wall. Was like the 50-foot cord,
Yep.
coiled cord. She said, "Dial your phone number. Just dial your phone number. Just put in your phone number." He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. I can do that." Picks it up, looks at it, looks at the rotary, looks back at the phone, looks back at the rotary, and he starts pushing. And I'm like, this fucking kid thinks it's a push phone, push dial. No, what he was trying to do, he goes, "I can't find the app for contacts."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she goes, "Well, what's your phone number? We'll put it in." And he goes, "Oh, I have it in my contacts."
Wow.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
she goes, "Okay, well, what's your parents' phone number? Put your parents' number in. Number that most people know, but like I still remember my house phone number when my parents still had it. But like I know my parents' phone number, even the cell phone." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he's like, uh, and he's again looking at it. She goes, "What are you looking for now?" And he goes, "I'm trying to find where I can find mom and dad on here." Just a little
Yeah.
yeah. And she goes, "You have to actually put the number." And she was doing this motion, like the actual swipe. And he goes, "Oh, okay." So he would go right up to it and like not actually touch it and try to do. He's doing this, trying to get it. And she goes, "What are you doing? Are you psychic or something? Do you have like telekinesis that it'll just move on its own?" And she showed him how it actually works. And he
Yeah.
goes,
It's a gesture motion. New phones have it now. You can just do gestures and it'll
"Yeah."
do stuff. Yeah.
That's what he thought it was. And she literally had to show him, like, actually put, like, her finger in the hole and turn it. And he goes, "That's fucking stupid." Yeah. I hate kids. Hate kids. Hate
Well,
'em.
it's like what was another one? Tape deck. The old boombox. Watching the kids try to operate those things. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
is it connected to the Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi? What? You know, my sister a few Christmases back, she bought me a Canon camera
Mhm.
from the late 70s, back when you still had to flip the little knob and crank the
I
film
remember.
back
Yep.
into the canister.
Yep.
All steel body, no plastic. And she got me the lenses with it, and man, I compared that to the camera that I have now. The weight difference is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get rid of it because, you don't see fully functional cameras in damn near mint condition.
Well, not the metal ones, no.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Well, we were the Wicked Queen and Parrot Princess and we were all talking about like, well, my daughter had a little incident. We'll just put it nicely at the house, so we took her iPad from her because that seemed to be the priority that in her mind. So we took it from her, and we started talking about technology. And I said, I don't understand like why these schools are giving kids laptops and iPads and like literal iPads, like top of the line type stuff. I said,
Yeah.
growing up, number one, when I was in fourth grade, didn't even have a computer. When we did have computers, they were the old floppy disks, like the big black son of bitches that were greeted black screens with what do you call it? Oregon Trail.
I remember the Commodore 64.
Yeah, I missed that one. I still remember all the sounds.
Yep.
But they're talking like the Wicked Queen said about getting bulky iMac or MacBook laptops in middle school. I'm going, and okay, so I was like, by the way, my first laptops, they didn't have a battery pack. You had to plug them in before they would even work. And they were like that thick and they were black. And that's just the base. The screen was about like that. So the whole thing was about that high. And it was just, it looked like something from national security now.
It
It looked like
literally looked like an old briefcase.
yeah. And oh, speaking of the Para Princess, Pretzels is in chat.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Pretzel.
But yeah. Oh, which by the way, you guys will appreciate this since she's in chat. I got to give her shit.
Uh-oh.
So we've got a bunch of stuff here in the basement that we're going through. Get rid of some stuff and all that bullshit. I pulled out I have a paintball pod, the little holders for the paintballs.
Mhm.
I have one filled with pogs. I handed it to her. Looks me dead in the face and goes, "What's these?" I was like, "Oh, they're pogs." Huh? I was like, I don't know I'm done with you. I don't know what to do with you anymore. But she had no clue what pogs were. Although I will give her credit, she knew what the Angry Beavers were. Because there was I don't know if you had them, but there was the one pog that has the cheese doodles. When it had the beaver as the mascot or whatever. I had one of those. She thought it was Angry Beavers. I was like,
well, see, I know what pogs are, but I just never got into them.
All I knew is I could throw something really fucking heavy onto something else that basically exploded, and I was happy.
Yeah.
The rules of pogs, I kind of knew it, but my buddies and I, we just didn't care. We just wanted to make it look like a little mini explosion and get them everywhere.
We played if you flip them, you keep them.
Yeah, we did that once in a while, but by that point, we just didn't know whose was whose or who did what because we just had like mounds of them just all over the place, and we were just whipping them all across the room. We were using the slammers as frisbees.
Well, here's a question for you guys. What's the craziest situation? What is the craziest story you got about being pulled over?
So, have you ever you've seen Gabriel Iglesias? Both, I'm sure you guys have, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know his one sketch where he talks about if you get pulled over and you have tinted windows,
Yeah.
and you unbuckle and go to the passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Done it, even before he said it. I did that in actually San Diego. I was coming home from drinking with some of my buddies when I was in the military, and we were stupid drunk. I mean, we shouldn't have even been breathing. We were that bad.
Right.
I got pulled over, and I knew that as a military, we had what was called double jeopardy, which we didn't just get in trouble with local law enforcement. We got in trouble with the military as well. So I knew if something was going to happen, I was going to be in deep shit. So instead of going to the passenger seat, I flipped my seat back and I pushed myself to the back seat, and I was just laying there like this, just like I was passed out. Cop opens the door and my head falls out. I'm like, oh, I'm like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, hi, Officer Muffer. How are you tonight? And he goes, were you driving this vehicle? I was like, what vehicle?
Yeah.
And I played it off, and they actually went on a manhunt. They were looking for somebody. I walked home. I was only like a mile away. I was so
You sure you want to talk about that now? Because this, everybody has internet access, and
yes, because
this is now a confession.
They never took my license. Number one. And the car that is in question is now demolished years ago. So, good luck. Statute of limitation, bitches.
What about you, Tanner?
I'm going to try to tell this in a way that doesn't give away the department and who was involved, because it was
Last
a
week.
case. No, this was years ago. It's probably a decade ago. But it was a case that I was working. I was on surveillance in this really small town down around Georgia, and it was a fraud case. The person that I was following looked a lot wealthier than the people that I was usually doing this type of work following.
Right.
Turns out they ran a lot of scams and were very successful with it. The town that they were in was tiny. I'd be surprised if there was more than 2,000 people that actually lived there. They had
Right.
a little bitty, like 3-4-man police department. And I had followed him for about a week. I had gotten everything that I needed, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to get a really, really, really good close shot. And
Right.
I got a little too close, and I guess I got burned because the next thing I know, the police are rolling up on my car. They had left the
Ooh.
area. I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna put my stuff in here because that was way too close. I'm not gonna follow them out of here. And police roll up on me, pull me out of the car. They're trying to find a way to arrest me. Turns out that person had the police department there on the payroll, and they were basically that individual's private security. So I was stuck there for about 45 minutes, where this cop just kept fingering his gun, threatening me, saying, "You know what? We could probably make something up. I can get the guys out here, throw something in the car." Um, he gets a phone call, and then he makes a call, and he's pissed. And,
Right.
he hands me the phone, and it's the local judge. He's a little judge for that municipality,
Right.
and he reads me the riot act and says, You get your fucking ass out of my town, out of my county, and the next time I see you, I don't care who you got, what you're doing. The next time one of my guys roll up on you, um, we will find a way to put you under that jail." So I roll out. And I generally, when I'm sleeping, I stay outside of the county or the municipality I'm in because I've had corrupt cop issues before.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that I'm outside of reach and harder to find if I do get burnt.
Yeah.
But I get back to my hotel and I get a call, and it's a friend of mine, and I won't say what agency, but he's with a 3-letter agency. And he goes, "Hey, Tanner, the hell are you doing in my case?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I can't say shit, but stay out of that town."
Right.
And, the call that cop got was actually from him, saying, if you do anything, you are done." And so he, apparently when they actually ran me, and it flagged, whatever he was my name somehow popped up where he was looking, and that
Right.
saved my ass.
Mm.
Yep. So that's my craziest stop from a police. I usually don't get pulled over, but that's my craziest one.
Right. Well, so these stories, this isn't me, but this happened. I was with somebody, and so my buddy got this tiny little 1981 Pontiac Phoenix.
Ooh.
It's a little 4 on the floor, 4-cylinder, just a small car. But just to set the precedent of what this car was like, I had hand painted a Gothic cross on the back on the trunk with the letter DVD, Death Before Dishonor, Duty Before Death.
Mm-hmm.
We painted a rebel flag on the roof,
As you should.
and I don't know if you guys are into the old White Zombie album, but when Thunder Kiss came out, if you looked inside the cover art, he had those 2 well-endowed women that were dressed like officers. Well, I hand painted those on the rear quarter panel behind the rear window. And then he decided to get the idea of burning a pentagram into the hood of the car. So this is what is rolling around in this small, quiet town. And we're driving down this main road in Coon Rapids. And the first time this happened, cop walks up and says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" Well, first he said, "Do you know why I stopped you?" And he goes, "No, not really." He goes, "Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you know how fast you were going?" And Ronnie, without even missing a beat, says, "Not really. My speedometer pegged out at 80. 2 weeks after this, same town, and this is like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, gets pulled over again. And when the cop asked him if he knew how fast he was going, he goes, I know exactly how fast I was going. Do you know how fast you were going to catch me?
Mm-hmm.
Both times he talked his way out of a ticket. I don't know how he did it, but both times I'm over there in the passenger seat. Now, this is, back when weed was illegal, and I'm high as a kite. And I'm sitting there in the passenger seat going, oh, shit. Oh, crap. I'm going to jail. I got to call my mom. My mom's going to kill me. Man, Ronnie, just shut up. So, yeah, I will say that if I get pulled over, not that I would because I don't drive anymore, but if we get pulled over and a cop walked up to my window, I'm not even going to give him a chance to ask me anything. I'm just going to, I'll take a Big Mac, a large fry, and a large shake.
Paper, scissors, I win.
Yeah.
So going with Gabriel Iglesias, and yes, it's because my buddies and I, we love Gabriel. We used to watch him constantly. When some of my buddies from here, from Little Town, PA, came to visit me out in California, they wanted to go to LA because obviously for some reason LA is a big thing. I told them, I said, okay, well, we go from San Diego to LA. Sometimes you have to cross a border patrol, like an inspection site. I said, they do not play. Do not have fun with them. Do not joke with them. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. End of story. I said, we can't get into trouble, especially with me being military. I can't do that. And they said, all right, no, we're good. We're good. We're good. So they get out. We have some fun. We go to a couple bars, and then we decide we're going to go to LA. Why we're going to LA at night is beyond me, but we were going. So as soon as we get up to, it's just past Camp Pendleton. If you guys know where Camp Pendleton is, it's just up through there. And sure enough, they had the checkpoint open, which means for those of you playing the home game, you have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So we go driving up, and I'm sitting there, 10-2. I've got a Navy shirt on, not my uniform, but a Navy shirt on, everything else. And I go driving up. The officer comes up to me. I say, "Good evening, sir." He goes, "Good evening." He goes, I smell some alcohol. He goes, it's not strong, but I smell it. And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "My friends are visiting from central Pennsylvania. They've been drinking. I have not." I said, "I'm the designated driver, blah, blah, blah." I hand him my CAT card, and I hand him my driver's license. And he goes, "Oh, okay, so you're a Navy boy." I said, "Yes, sir." And as he's talking to me, asking me where we're going, what we're doing, from the back seat, I hear, and I'm just like, uh-oh. And me and the cop, same time, look back at my buddy. And my buddy goes, "Oh, hold on. Hey, Mexicans in the back, shut the fuck up. La migra. He goes, "Mexicans, you can't take them anywhere." 10 minutes later, we're handcuffed alongside of the road. My car is getting searched. Yeah, he got fined. I didn't get anything because I was polite and everything like that. But yeah, I didn't take my buddies through there ever again. And when we did come back through, we bought duct tape. And we duct taped my buddy's mouth shut. So when we went through, that was a whole nother explanation coming back. But we'd rather that than deal with his dumb ass. So, by the way, folks, I do not recommend. Border Patrol in Southern California, they're nice, very professional. They don't play around. So if you are in Southern California, give them a little respect. They don't play
right.
nice. They don't play well with others. I'll just put it that way.
Well, in Coon Rapids, we used to have this officer by the name of Bayland, and he was very well known. Now, this was back in the early to mid '80s, and there was this one bowling alley that was always a trouble spot because it was one of the bowling alleys that had a fairly sizable bar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So people always get drunk, and of course, this being the '80s, public intoxication was normal, sort of.
Yeah.
But there's a call. There's some sort of disturbance going on, and there's a call. So he goes up there, and Officer Bayland is the first one there. And Officer Bayland, he's like 6'1". He's not like athletic, but he's kind of a big guy.
Yeah.
And this one guy just starts mouthing off and tries to run. And this is in the report, but how accurate this is, I don't know. But apparently, he sees this guy running, and rather than run after him, he looked over at some of the people that are standing outside along the wall just drinking, grabbed the bottle of beer out of one guy's hand and throws it. Now, this is where we find out that Officer Balin used to be a star football player, nails that guy, and causes him to fumble.
Intentional grounding, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, and so, yeah, ever since then, whenever anybody heard Officer Balin coming, you can bet that everybody was on their best behavior. They weren't afraid of fighting him. They were afraid of getting hit by a bottle from this guy because this guy was accurate.
We have some cops around here like that. Like there's ones you can play around with, and there's ones you do not play around with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What about down your way, Tanner? You have cops like that?
Man, since I stopped doing PI work, I don't really have any interactions with them. I'm out in the suburbs.
Fair enough. What about neighbors? Do you have like any neighbors that you just don't mess with?
No, my neighbors are freaking great. Well, I mean, like people you don't mess with. I've got one guy down the road. He is jacked. I mean, he is massive. We get together. He always invites everybody over to like work out. Probably the nicest guy on the planet, but he is definitely someone I wouldn't screw with. No, I lucked out with neighbors and stuff in this area. It's great. We all have some sort of like, this is my studio / bar down here in the basement. The cross street, they've got this awesome like nightclub kind of set up in their basement, and everybody's got some sort of different feature in the house.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of like bar hopping,
It's house hopping.
it's house hopping because we all have kids.
Gives
So,
a
like,
new
if you
meaning
went
to
to
block
movies-
party.
Yes.
Y'all put your kids to bed, and then you don't have to worry because the neighbors are all going back and forth.
So you step out the door across the street and you're there.
I could just see it now, like Tanner's in his living room window, like flashing like SOS signals or some kind of like Morse code to his neighbor, like on Family Guy with the lights, and they're going back.
Yes.
Are your kids asleep yet? Fuck no. Try NyQuil. No, I'm joking.
Now they're usually awake. So we all have like some studio. I don't think you can see it, but there's a 110-inch projector screen back there. We use this as the media room too.
Oh, okay.
And just about everybody I think's got something like that, and just put movies on for the kids when they're awake, and they'll watch the movies. We'll hang out.
Do you guys do like a block party type thing where you have somebody has like one of those huge inflatable movie screens and you just sit in like a driveway and watch it and everybody plays?
We haven't yet. We've been talking about being those people and getting that. So this year with all the Halloween inflatables and stuff, like we have an inflatable bounce house that we'll put up sometimes for the kids, and like everybody will come over and jump on it. But we're thinking about getting, because we have the long cast or the regular projector for the screen down here. And we're wanting to upgrade to I think it's called a short throw, where it's like right under the screen, but it's like it's 4K resolution, and it's you don't have to worry about people walking in front of it and messing with it.
Okay.
And we'll move this one over to the garage or outside so that we can use it for just regular movies, because it hooks into a sound system, and it'll actually work with this guy too.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Do you guys have like outside speakers that you can hook into, or?
Mhm.
Yo, I'm coming over to Tanner's, man.
Well, when it comes to like, you talk about Halloween. Unfortunately, where I live in a secured building, so I don't get trick or treater, which is kind of a bummer because I love scaring the crap out of people, especially children. I know that makes me a little twisted and that there may be something wrong with me, but I can't help it. There's just something about, not terrorizing a kid to the point of being permanently traumatized,
Oh,
but occasionally dropping a bag of candy and just watching them haul off. I just love that.
Mhm.
But when I worked at the Texas State Fair, so there was my game, then there was the game I was working with. It was a color wheel, and basically with a spinning wheel like a roulette, and it had a basket over it that came down to a cone, and with a small opening in the bottom, and you threw this little mini basketball in there,
Mm-hmm.
and it would go in there, and it would bounce, and it would stop on a color. Well, the color also had a football team. And on the outside were the countertop that had squared with football teams. You put a token on the team that you think the ball is going to land on. If you win the prize. And then right next to me was the goblet, which is where you throw the ball into different colored goblets, and each color represents the prize, a size prize. Well, right across the walkway from us was this a Halloween themed ride. And there was this guy who would always stand out there. He had this huge mask that had this big gaping maw. And he had these gloves that he would put on his hands that just had to give him monster hands. And he just looked ridiculous, but scary at the same time.
Hmm.
His thing, I only met like maybe a couple other people that could stand as still as this guy for as long as him. But I have seen him stand still and kids walk up, they're looking at him all scared and stuff, and he'll just like, kind of twitch at him.
Yep.
I watched one kid run so hard. I mean, this kid has his arms almost backwards, pumping down the midway, and his mother is screaming bloody murder at him to stop. One time, this is probably one of my favorite ones, actually. One time, there was this kid that was in a stroller, and I don't know what he had in his hand, but he got a prize from somewhere, and he's just all about this prize. And Monster, we call this our friend Monster, slowly walks up. And he's moving slow enough so that the kid doesn't quite catch it out of his peripheral, to where he's standing right next to the stroller, looking down right at him. And all of a sudden, the kid just kind of stopped, and you can see his eyes look up a little bit, and he turns his head up and sees this monster. Now, here's the thing. It scared the kid so bad that when he threw himself back, he broke the bar that kept the backrest up. Because all of a sudden, the whole thing just goes flat. And you just see two tiny little legs just kicking in the air at his face. And a shrill, ear-piercing scream. Now, there's something wrong with the parents because both mom and dad are laughing while this kid is just now scarred. And then the rest of us, we're just laughing. But yeah, that's the thing I miss about Halloween the most. It's just those good, clean, wholesome family pranks.
Well, here's something. Everybody loves haunted houses, right? Like, it seems to be the thing, haunted attractions, whatever you want to call them. I don't know about you.
Including the fact that we're all paranormal investigators.
I'm getting there. But I'm ashamed to say that I've gone to a couple of these haunted attractions. Haunted attractions, my ass. But anyway, for you guys too, I just want to know if it's just me, but you guys know as paranormal investigators, we get that night vision, like our eyes get adjusted to the darkness and we can almost see completely in the dark.
Used to, yeah.
So have you guys done this? Like, I've gone to these haunted attractions and they have the actors or whatever hiding in the corner and you can see them. Yeah. And you just walk right up to them and just stare at them. What you doing? Have you guys done that, or is it just me?
I've not done the staring thing. Like, I've seen him, and I was with this girl I was dating at the time, and I'm just like, she scares me. I mean, like, faint scares. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get her around this guy. And so, like, I'm watching him. She's like, what? Can you see in here? I was like, yeah. She's like, what's wrong with you? What do you mean? What's wrong with me?
See, when I first moved back from California, and this was after my first team, I hate, I don't really hate to say it, but my ex-wife and I tried dating again. One of the first dates we went on was to haunted attraction, and it was the funniest thing in the world. They're all, her and her friends, they're all screaming. I'm just wandering through it, just like nothing's going on, and I'm standing against this wall, just like this, just hanging out, and I look down and I see somebody sitting there. I'm just like, what are you doing? No response. I'm like, hello, what are you doing? No response. So I did the whole finger tap thing on top of the head that's really freaking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, what are you doing? They're like, go away. I was like, no. I was like, not until you tell me what you're doing. What are you doing? Well, I'm working, asshole. Move. I was like, who are you trying to scare? He's like, I'm here to scare the groups. I was like, you're failing miserably. I can see you. And we're almost in pitch black, like what you got going on, Aaron, like pitch freaking black. And I was like, you're failing miserably, dude. You suck at your job. And they're like, do you think you could do better? I was like, bitch, I hunt dead people. Yes, I can do a lot fucking better. And my ex comes up and goes, who are you talking to? The guy stands up and goes, you know what? I've had enough of this, and just walks out. I'm like, oh. I was like, I didn't mean for him to quit, but I mean, kind of just sitting in the middle of the way. You know? But I won't go to them anymore. I just can't.
They're just not scary anymore.
No. Well, it's like horror movies.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Like
my wife has learned to stop watching paranormal related movies with me because I am just brutal when I rip these films apart. Because myself being a former paranormal investigator and knowing how a lot of these things work and how evidence should be collected, and what you can really expect from a paranormal event.
Yep.
Which is nothing like what people see in Hollywood, which is one of the things that just irritates me to no end. But yeah, she stopped watching paranormal related movies with me because of that.
What about you, Tanner? Did your wife do that to you, or do you do that to her?
She doesn't watch horror movies. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody irritates everybody. But my thing with horror fiction is like I'm a fiction writer. I write mystery, thriller, and then paranormal thriller, which kind of borderlines on horror. It's not supposed to be real. It's just supposed to be fun.
See, I think for the Wicked Queen, when it really hit her for it, now she's afraid of clowns. She's just terrified of clowns. For some reason, wanted to go see It Chapter 1. No idea why, but she did. And she goes, do you want to go? I said, not really. She goes, oh, is it too scary? I was like, no. I was like, I just have no interest in it. And she goes, well, will you go just for me? Yeah, sure. So we're sitting in the movie theater. She's sitting there with her popcorn, just all like, I mean, no arm movement, just the wrist thing while she's eating her popcorn. And I'm sitting here like this going, huh. Well, I guess it could be a demonic. Well, it could be a malicious intelligence. It could be this, could be that. And I'm just breaking down what Pennywise is. And I'm just running it through. And then she hears me doing all this and she goes, shut the fuck up. I'm like, what? I was like, I'm not getting an entertainment, so I might as well figure out what he is. And she goes, you need to stop. And I was like, fine. So I was sitting there like, so I started writing it down because as an investigator, you always have a notebook on you. So I'm starting to write all this down. She goes, it's not evidence. Stop it. And I went, fine. A couple months later, we went to the drive-in and we saw the last Conjuring movie. And her brother was there, and her brother knows my involvement with the paranormal. We're in the back of my truck. My wife and I are, and he's in his car with his now wife. And we're watching this. And I'm doing the investigator thing. All of a sudden, a pair of hands come over the side of my truck bed, and I just see her brother go, Matt, does that really happen? I was like, come here. And I'm like talking to him about the whole thing, and I go, they're way off the story. Like, what really happened at this time? And I was giving like the whole history lesson. And all of a sudden, I get smacked upside the head, and she goes, will you two shut the fuck up? I'm like, yes, it's not my fault.
Speaking of drive-throughs, Tanner, you ever do drive-throughs?
No, we don't have them around here.
Did you ever go to a drive-through?
I don't think I've ever been to
a drive-in. Sorry,
I was gonna say a drive-through. I think we've all been to a
drive-in.
drive-in.
Yeah, no, I've been doing a drive-in theater.
I
think the nearest one here is like 3-4 hours away.
Ooh.
It's a great experience. I freaking love them.
Well, it's a great experience until you're the one that gets stuffed in the trunk, so you don't have to pay the admission.
Oh man.
Done that. I got you beat. Try under the vehicle. And we have it's part cornfield where this one was. And you get cornstalk after cornstalk while you're holding on to the chassis. That's not fun.
Right. Yeah, the only time I was underneath anything that enclosed to a chassis is back when I used to be a skateboarder. And there used to be a Target store next not far from where I lived, and there was always the semi trailer that was lined up on the back end that would either be loaded or unloaded, and there'd be like 4 or 5 of us, rolling around on our skateboards, and it kind of go downhill a little bit, so we get some speed, and then we just duck down, grab our skateboards, and crouch down as much as we can, and just go flying underneath those trailers. Which, hindsight being 2020, looking back, was probably one of the dumbest things we could have done, because if our head had been up like an inch, we're looking at instant concussion.
Trust me, when Jackass first came out on MTV, and we're talking like Steve-O with the goldfish trick, like the OG stuff, my buddies and I literally looked at each other and went, "We do almost everything on here. Why aren't we getting paid for this?"
Mm-hmm.
Now looking back, I'm like, how the hell did we survive?
Yeah, if I go back to the hospital and start pulling up my medical records, it's a stack.
Mm-hmm.
Did either one of you have a piece of junk BMX bike that just would not agree with you on whatever you did?
I still have a dent in my leg from the pedals. I'm not even joking.
Oh yeah, those things, I hated those things. One misstep, and it wasn't like you just stepped down and it just flipped and hit you, but it's like the whole thing would spin around and then come back and rack your chin. But the one I had, there was something wrong with the front end of the frame where the bar for the handlebar goes through to attach to the front fork. Something in there would always cause it to get stuck once in a while. And one night, we're on our way back from Perkins. We'd all been drinking and smoking and carrying on. And my buddy had the bike, and I was like, "Hey man, let me get on that thing." And I'm sitting there just doing all kinds of old school tricks, and I decided to see how far I can do a wheelie. So I lift the front of the bike, and I'm just pedaling on it, and I got a good distance going. And I'm sitting there being an idiot, just doing this with the handlebars, and all of a sudden it gets stuck, and the wheel is completely perpendicular to where I was. And at that time, the front of the bike is also going down. So when that sideways wheel caught that black top, the back end went up, and I flipped over completely, and I landed on the back of my head. I stood up, grabbed the back of my head, and I start running, but then all of a sudden everything goes black. And I remember running until I finally feel like I'm up against the curb, and then I just fall down on the grass. Well, I didn't know this until after I was at the hospital, and they said, "Yeah, dude, you were running in circles before you finally sat down on the grass." It's like, 'cause I couldn't see. I knocked myself blind for a second there. And of course, I had really long hair, and I was so mad because the doctor took almost a 2-inch stripe, shaved down the back of my head, just stitched me back up. And I was like, oh, I was like, you could have just stitched it up with the hair. I'd have been fine. You didn't have to shave that much off. I was just mad at the nurse.
What about you, Tanner?
Most of my stuff from being a kid came from playing football or baseball, or I was into sports. So it was like my middle school wasn't so bad because it was just weightlifting after school, and it was football practice and stuff after school. But when I got to high school, you had to be at the school at 6 a.m. I would run 2-3 miles, and then it was weight training until class started. So we go to class, get out of class. We had our second round of weight training, and then we had football practice until like 6 or 7, and that went all the way through football season. And the only thing that was different in the off season was we weren't having those longer practices, so it was still I was so beat up from that I didn't do anything else. I was 12, 13. I had a BMX. I would do jumps. I would go out and do mountain bikes and stuff. I didn't have any like gnarly crashes or anything like that. I did try to do skateboarding once. We had this huge hill. We didn't really have a neighborhood. I grew up on a farm, but the road was finally paved in the area. Yeah, it was dirt for the longest time, but I think it was about 11 or 12, and it was finally paved. I had a skateboard. I don't remember where it came from because I remember my parents would not buy me a skateboard, but somehow I had this skateboard. And I went outside and was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. And there was a big ass hill that went down toward the back acreage of the property and onto the neighbor's house that were down the road. And I was like, all right, let's do this. I stood on it and I'm just going down this hill and wind's in my hair. I'm like, this is kind of great. And then it wasn't. And I was upside down and flying through the air and hitting, hitting the newly paved road. Um,
Ooh, that hurts.
I did learn. I took a summer and learned how to surf though. That was, I thought it was going to be less painful. I think it was about 16 or 17. I had some family down in the Daytona area. So I went down there and just rented a board and got up on it. So I spent a lot of time at Salty Dogs. Jumped out and there's zones that you can surf in that are safe for surfing that there are not supposed to be swimmers. And it
Mm.
was the very first time that I actually stood up on the board. And I'm like, this is great. But I didn't know, like, do you ride it all the way into the beach? Do you just stay up for as long as you can and like jump off while the water's still deep enough for you to jump into, or do you ride it all the way in? So I'm trying to figure that out. And I see something in the water, and there's this little like 5 or 6 year old that pops up right in front of my board. So I
Ooh.
jump and I kick the board, and the board goes around the girl. I go over the girl, and I land in the water and come up right as I guess my leg strap went taut, and it brought the board right into my head.
Ooh.
And so I had this gnarly like gash right there.
Man.
It's a fun summer break.
See, I
Had your own Point Break moment, huh?
Yes.
yeah, literally. you guys remember Home Improvement, right?
Mhm.
With Tim
Tim Allen, yeah.
Do you remember several episodes actually where he goes to the emergency room and they basically have his own coffee mug, and I think he went for his son or whatever, but they like treat him like they're one of his own, and the doctors are thinking it's him that needs to be seen and everything.
Yep.
Mate, I swear I had to make reservations. I would call the ED and be like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm going out with my friends. I'll see you in a little bit. It was that bad. The one day we were out playing paintball, and let's just say we played this game where it was kind of like speedball, but it was scenario ball. And anyway, it's war games basically. And we have this rule that if there's a technical problem with the marker or the gun, you call it out, and everyone yells, timeout, 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 whatever, and guns down. We put everything down, the masks come up, and the markers have to be on the ground. Well, that's what I did. I put mine down, and I'm looking around, and I'm trying to, I don't want to say cheat, but kind of see if I can see any of my buddies. And all of a sudden, I'm looking around, and I get hit right in the throat with a paintball. Now, it wasn't just a regular marker that shot me. It was a Tippmann 98 Custom with a 32-inch flatline barrel, sniper barrel, with 2 CO2 tanks attached to it. So it was twice the power that we modified. It shot me right in the throat from 15, 20 feet away. It hit so hard and so quick. There's a clear shell over top of the paintball itself.
Mm-hmm.
It broke the back of it, but not the front. So I had this hard shell and paint just going basically into my bloodstream. I was cussing. I was making up words to cuss at my buddy. And my girlfriend at the time, she comes running into the woods because she didn't play. And she goes, we need to go to the hospital. We need to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, not again. Not again. I'm not going to the freaking hospital. I started yelling. So long story short, we went to the hospital. I'm sitting there on the table or in the little bed or whatever. I'm swinging my feet. I'm still trying to get my mind off of what just happened. Doctor comes in and goes, all right, Matt, what is it this time? And I went, And he goes, how did that happen? And I told him, and he goes, I'm actually impressed. I've never seen one not break the shell. He pulls it out of my throat, and it was an actual hole that I had. But I had that hole for about a month or two. But I was back playing paintball within an hour as soon as we got out of there. But I was always hurt. I was that guy. I was Tim Allen.
Yeah, see, I didn't get into paintball. We just threw rocks at each other.
I loved it. Shooting my friends was fun.
We did the bottle rockets.
Been there, done that. Roman candles.
Yeah, see how fast you can make them run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the reckless days of our youth that we've somehow managed to survive, and yet we pay for it as we get older.
See, ours was Roman candles. We played Roman candle baseball or derby. We think of home run derby, but with Roman candles, that's what we did. Didn't always work out the way we wanted it to, but I think we have to go through that though. I think as kids, you have to go through stuff like that just to say you did it. Well, not anymore. Now they talk about whatever they freaking talk about. They don't even know what the outside is.
Oh man! One time it was 4th of July. We had this PVC pipe and it had a elbow tube at the back, and we were dropping bottle rockets in. It was like a bazooka. We were, I don't know, 12, 13, somewhere in there. And we're just kind of like shooting at a beehive. We had poured gasoline on a hornet's nest that was outside. We were just gonna light it up. And we're like, let's do it, because we're kids and we're dumb.
Yeah.
And so
exact wording too.
Yeah. So I think it was Casey and John, my two friends at the time. They were dropping the things in the back, and it was shooting at the tube, trying to hit the nest. And they get this really big like rocket, not a bottle rocket, but like a big firework, drop it in the back, and it gets stuck. And I hear it go, but it never comes out the front. And I'm like, oh crap! So I just kind of throw it out, like I shuck it off my shoulder. And when it hits the ground, the rocket breaks loose and it misses the side of the house by a few inches. And I'm like, it's not going to make it through the tree line. And then suddenly on the other side of the tree line, there was a flash and a bang and then smoke. So we're like, oh God. And so I was like, all right, grab this, grab that. And Casey's like, inside now. So
dispose of the evidence.
John gets taken off toward the rocket. He's like, what are you doing? He goes, get a check, see if everybody's okay. We're like, shit, he's right. So we set this little patch of a yard on fire and like put it out, and then it went back. But yeah, John, he has an MBA now and is like my ethics guy when I'm looking at doing something, and I'm like, this might be gray. This might not be the best way to accomplish this business goal. I'll call him and see what the ethics are on it.
See, we had something kind of fun happen this past 4th of July. So obviously, you know, the little crap packs that you get from like Walmart or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, we were all gonna get together and just have just some fun, just to make some noise and just set crap off. Well, while we were planning this night out, I remembered I had bottle rockets. And I'm like, this ought to be fun. I went to go look for them, and I found a whole bunch of them. And my brother-in-law, who's Army, he goes, they look really odd. Why do they look so odd? I go, I've had these for over 10 years, so I don't even know if these are going to light. He goes, is that even safe? I go, I don't know. Let's find out. So I'm literally walking around the yard. I'm like sticking it. Like he's got a little motorcycle, just a little like compact one. I'm sitting there putting in his brake line, just like angling it right. I'm putting it in his handlebars, putting it in the fence. I put one in the fence and it goes straight up and just makes a 90-degree angle and it heads right for the cars. And I went, uh-oh. And it blew right behind my wife's car, and I looked back, and the Wicked Queen had her eyes like that big. She goes, I'm going to fucking kill you. Not towards the car, not towards the pool, not towards anything. And I had it facing that way, and it went that way. It was like, you yell at that, not me. And, yeah. It's always fun to blow shit up. Always fun.
Well, we had there was me, my friend Ben, his sister Jen, and another friend of mine, Mike. Mike, his name is Princess, and I'm not going to get into how he got this name because it's a little bit vulgar and it's a bad story.
First show. Let's wait till the second or third show.
So he got one of those fireworks. It had one of those big launch tubes and a massive stand that it stood on to keep it from tipping over.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual pyrotechnic itself, it looked like a little miniature old school Fat Boy nuclear bomb. And so what you did is you treat it just like a mortar. You light it, drop it down the tube, and you run. Well, me, Ben, and Jen we're in Ben's pickup truck. Mike is in the back in the bed. And we stop at this parking lot that was connected to a church. Mike gets out and says, "Where should I go?" And said, "Well, just go out in the other end of the parking lot. Just light that thing off."
Mm-hmm.
So we see him running across this parking lot. He's got this big tube in one hand, and he's got a hand with this ridiculous explosive in the other. Sets it up right under a street light, or one of those lights that lights up the parking lot.
Yeah.
Sets it down, lights it, and launches it. Now, it doesn't hit the light, but you hear the and you can just see the motor tube kind of shake a little bit, and you see this thing go up in the air. Now, this thing, when it detonated about 50 feet in the air, this thing was like powerful enough that we could feel the concussion in the air inside the truck. Boom! And the whole block was lit up. Now, Ben's reaction was start the truck, put it in gear, and takes off. We left Mike there.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't sticking around for the cop.
I've been that kid.
And Mike, his bike is in the bed. So he got no way to really take off quickly. So he's sitting there running down the street after Ben in a truck. And now me and Jen, of course, we're all high as a kite. We're all just dying with laughter. Ben is sweating bullets because he thinks that somebody saw his truck pull out of the parking lot. And we're all looking for cops. Mike is terrified because he can't quite hear because he was right under that thing when it went off.
Mm.
And it was just hilarious.
All right, guys. Well, we're approaching an hour and a half. I think that's a good start. To start for this thing. So, for those of you who are watching, what's wrong with you?
Still watching.
What the hell's wrong with you? No, we appreciate it. Again, there's no rhyme or reason for this show. Just talk about whatever's on our mind. Obviously, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments. We don't care. I don't think. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think this will be like a weekly thing. Maybe like every 2 weeks or maybe once a month. I don't know. Whatever we decide on doing. But we'll talk, and I'm sure we'll post out whenever we're gonna do this again. But all right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I'm not gonna do my usual, so thank you all for joining.